So if this is any indication of your future career choice, if there's any indication of your future career choice, her future career choice, I'm gonna have to send her to St. George's. And I don't think her patients would appreciate her continuing to stick them with a shot until they told her to stop. So, I tell you this story because some of you have wanted to become physicians or veterinarians, because we also have a veterinary school as well, since the earliest you can remember. Maybe it was 3 or 4, or maybe it was just recently you started thinking this would be a good career choice for you. Whenever you figured that out and you decided that this was going to be my next career move, I would love to challenge all of you to stick with that, especially for those of you that are first or second year students. Obviously this gets difficult as you move through college, and it's going to get a lot more difficult as you get in medical school. But we were in a pretty significant physician shortage prior to COVID happening, even more so now. And so, I would argue that we need you now probably more than ever. So St. George's, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this as an option because of the need. There are now more people applying to medical school than there have been really in the past. And unfortunately, the need for physicians hasn't really been met with the increased seats for US programs. So I think now it's really important for students to have as many options as they can. And we are a great option. It will get you to becoming a physician in the United States, but it is a different pathway. So what I'm going to go over with you today, and usually I go over the top 10 most important questions, but because of time, I'm going to go through really 5 that I think are pretty critical when considering a school like St. George's. And so for those of you that have never heard of St. George's, this is our beautiful campus. We're located in the country of Grenada. So it's about a 3.5-hour plane ride from Miami. We are the first Caribbean medical school founded over 48 years ago. So again, this campus is a medical campus. It's a veterinary campus. We also have an undergraduate program. We have a public health program. Students sometimes will do a dual MPH MD or a dual MBA MD as well. So that's an option for you. But since then, we've been around for over over 40 or almost 50 years now. Since that time, 19,000 physicians have came through our program. So 19,000 people at one point in time were in your footsteps trying to figure out, well, where's the best program for me that I'm going to be able to go to, that I'm going to be competitive enough to come back and practice medicine in the United States. And I will tell you that the number one question that I get pretty much every single day is, okay, if I decide to go to St. George's in another country where maybe I've never been before, will I get a US residency? Will I be a doctor in the United States? And what I'll tell you, year over year, we have a significant track record of doing this. So in this past March, for all of our graduates that were eligible to obtain residencies, 93% of them did so. And we actually now, up to this point, have produced over 1,090 of our graduates obtained US residencies in 2021 and counting. So we are actually the number one provider into first year residencies for the last 12 years combined. So we're pretty, we love that. The one thing that I did not know before coming to SGU is that how many of these doctors that are coming into the United States after graduating from St. George's. So no other medical school in the world actually produces that many new doctors in the United States healthcare system. In fact, after this past March, we just moved ahead of Indiana University School of Medicine. And so we are now the number one largest source of physicians for the entire United States workforce. So we're very proud of that. And, there's a couple reasons for that as well. I mean, they should really paint a picture of 2 things. One, how many graduates are coming out of our program year over year obtaining residencies? And 2, the amount of support that needs to be there for that many students to be obtaining residencies throughout the 4 years of our medical program. And one of that support is our clinical network. And so for those of you that don't know what that is, or are kind of newer to understanding how medical school works, you're going to be doing your first 2 years in medical school. It's called your basic sciences years. And then your second 2 years are your clinical rotations. Your year 3 clinical rotations you're going to be spending various weeks in surgery and psychiatry, OBGYN, internal medicine. So hopefully that sparks an interest for you to go and do your year 4 electives, and really you can pick which electives you want. If you have no idea what type of doctor you want to be, perfectly fine. We have graduates of ours that don't know what type of doctor they want to be the night before they have to rank what program they want to apply for. So it's an important question. How will our clinical network help our graduates or help you to obtain a residency? It's one of the benefits of coming to St. George's. We have the largest and most robust clinical affiliation network in the world, with over 70 hospitals that our students can do their 3rd-year clinical core rotations in. So how this works is after your 2nd year, you'll take your Usmle Step 1 exam. Once you pass it, you will then rank your top 3 states where you want to do your clinical core rotations for your 3rd year, and your clinical coordinator will build out that schedule for you. You notice we are affiliated with Baton Rouge General. It's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I'm not sure how far that is from you guys, but if you are looking to come back and practice in Louisiana, that option is for you for your 3rd-year rotations. Or some students will jump around. We have a lot of students. I'm based here in Florida. So we have some students who will do some of their rotations in Florida. We'll go to New York and do a couple of rotations. Maybe you'll go to Illinois and do a rotation. If you love to travel and you don't mind living out of a suitcase for a while, that might be an option for you. The great part of this is every one of our rotation spots are in teaching hospitals. So for example, if you wanted to always work at Baton Rouge in general, you could work there, and you would, when you're training, you're doing your 3rd-year rotations, you're actually working in front of residency directors. So all of these hospitals are teaching hospitals. They all have residency directors. So it's a great opportunity for you with that. Now, I mentioned the Usmle. Those of you that don't know what the Usmle is the United States Medical Licensing Exam. These are the most important exams you will take probably ever if you're looking to become a physician. And so it's worth noting, how does your education at St. George's prepare you for the Usmle? We are a very diverse group of students at SGU. We have students from over 30 different countries. We have a 94% first-time pass rate in the Usmle step in 2020. We do quite well on our exams, and in my opinion, really for 2 reasons. One, we throw numerous Usmle questions at you on a daily basis. Throughout your courses, you're going to be dissecting these questions to really understand what this exam is asking from you. In 2 years of doing this, you're going to know what to look for. The other thing is, and it's not to be mean, I promise, we have increased our tests and quizzes into our program to get a better gauge of how well you perform in these exams. But also, every test and quiz we give you is going to be in the exact same format as if you were to sit down and take your exam, your Usmle exam. So when you actually do take your test, it's going to look just like you're taking another SGU test or quiz. So we have 2 pathways. I would say 95% of the time, our pathways, students will take the first pathway, and that is where you'll come to Grenada for 2 academic years. So if you have friends or family or significant others and saying you can't leave me for 2 years, let them know you'll be back every summer and winter break. If you don't want to go back for winter break, we have selectives. Now we've put a pause onto these things because of COVID, but we're hoping to start this back up again next year if we can. And what these selectives are 2-week opportunities, and you can do as many of them as you want. For example, if you want to do surgery, you can work with a surgeon in Seattle for 2 weeks. If you want to do Chinese holistic medicine in Thailand, you can do that. We've had students help deliver babies in Kenya. You can do that as well. So there's a lot of really unique selectives that you can do and that look great on a resume. Will give you an outstanding story to talk with your residency director about. So that's an opportunity for you between the summers. Also, we have research. So those of you that love research, partake in our winter research department if you maintain a B average or better. So that's an option for you as well. If you want to do any of those things, perfectly fine. Some students need to take a break from medical school and go home and kind of relax. After 2nd year, you'll take your Step 1 exam. You'll go into your 3rd year clinical core rotations. Between year 3 and 4, you'll take your step 2 exam, which is a comprehensive exam over your year 3 clinical rotations. And then year 4 is your fun year. That's where you're doing your electives. You're traveling, well, students were traveling all over pretty much the country, going on interviews that they got from programs. This last year, it's been nice for them because they have not had to travel really at all. Everything has been virtual. So they've got to go on a lot more interviews that they normally wouldn't be able to afford, both financially and also time-wise. So that is typically your 4-year program. We do have another option that you, if you are interested, you could do your first year at Northumbria University in England, second year in Grenada, and then year 3 and 4 are the same pretty much in the US, or you could do them in the United Kingdom, or if you're from Canada, you can go back and do them in Canada. It's the same curriculum. We're all systems-based curriculum here. So it's, in fact, it is going to be the same curriculum you will find at any US medical program. For those of you that are interested in our vet school, the pathway is a little different. You'll spend 3 academic years in Grenada, and you'll do the 4th year at a US veterinary school. So we're affiliated with 33 US veterinary programs all throughout the United States. And similar to year 3 for medical school, year 4, you'll rank your top 3 US vet programs you want to do your 4th year in, 4th year in, and you can do them there. Our vet program is phenomenal. They do 3 times more surgeries than a typical US vet does. So you can typically, after you graduate, go right into practice and you won't have to take an internship year. So our vet program is fantastic for those of you that are looking for vet options as well. So we'll switch gears a little bit and talk with you about what life is like on campus at SGU. Besides studying 40 to 50 hours a week, you all need some type of outlet, whatever outlet that is. Whatever outlet you do now, you can have in one of the world's most beautiful places to visit. So for you coming to St. George's, all students are required to live on campus their first year. The bottom right is our new dorms that we just built. They're apartment style dorms, so you can live by yourself. You can live with up to 5 other students. You're not going to need a car or a scooter, even though some students will buy or rent those. We have our own bus system specifically for SGU students, both on and off campus. You have to understand too, Grenada is not very big. It's 22 square miles. You can see the entire country in less than a day. Most of anything that you're going to want to do is going to be in the bottom half of the country, unless you're into hiking, where we have rainforests and we have waterfalls. There are a lot of people selling spices. One thing if you come to St. George's, you will come back with a robust understanding of nutmeg, because it is one of the biggest spice capitals of the world. You also have, you'll be able to see the monkeys on the island as well. Some of them will literally jump on your shoulder. So it's just an amazing place to study. Motorco halls on the bottom left. A lot of students will use that for yoga, sunset yoga, or studying in between classes. We built a brand new fitness center. So just the amenities at St. George's are fantastic. If you want to continue to be a part of a club or organization, we have the world's largest AMSA club, Women in Medicine Club, Minority Club. Really any club that you need or want to be a part of, we pretty much have. And then for those of you that are also outdoors people, we have all that as well. Fun fact for all of you, if you love to swim, about 40% of our students end up getting scuba certified while they're in medical school. We have one of only 2 places in the world with an underwater statue garden. Grand Anse Beach is one of the top 10 most beautiful beaches in the world for you to visit. And National Geographic said Grenada is in the top 10 places you need to visit before you die. So you can scratch that off your bucket list and get your MD degree all at the same time. And you're probably wondering, how can you visit this amazing place? I'm glad you asked. It's not a question on here, but I think it's important. And for those of you that are considering any medical school, I think that is important, whether it's in the United States, whether it's in Louisiana, or outside of it, even probably more so to visit the medical school outside the United States as well. So what we typically do, and we will hopefully again start this up next year, for every student that is admitted to our 4-year MD program, we actually sponsor a trip for you to come and see our program. We pay for your flight, we pay for a 3-night hotel accommodation, and you come down, we pair you up with the students, you see the campus, you talk to faculty, you see really the country, and you come back and you make a decision. If SGU is not the place for you, it's not like we're going to send you a bill in the mail and say, well, you owe us for this trip. So that's an option as well. We also have a summer leadership academy for medical and veterinary students. So it's 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of June. You can partake in a lot of very cool workshops, and you get to meet like-minded students. So it's a great learning summer academy if you're looking for something to do. And then we've had to get a little creative over the last year. So I will send all of you a link. We now are sending free virtual reality goggles out to you. So they look like this. You scan the QR code, you put your phone in the front, and you can actually walk across campus. And if any of you are into gaming, you can use this for VR gaming as well. And they're free, and you can request one, we'll send it to you. And so really the last thing I kind of want to bring up to you all before I take questions is how do you apply? Before I get into that, I want to tell you what our average accepted student has for our medical program. So, it varies across the United States, what the average competitive score is. The last time I looked, I think it was around a 3.7 GPA and a 5.10 MCAT score for US MD programs. To give you some perspective for us, our average student has about a 3.3 to 3.4 GPA and a 500 MCAT score. We also take in roughly 1,500 students a year, which is about 9 to 10 times the size of a US medical program. Now that's spread out between 3 start dates. We have a January, in April, and in August. So take kind of whatever you know about the US application cycle and kind of put it to the side, because we are completely unique and different from this. So how our application process works is, for those of you that are going to be applying to US MD or DO programs, you're going to be submitting what's called AMCAS or go through ACOMAS. Now, you're not going to be able to find us through there because our campus is not based in the United States, but we accept those applications. So what you'll do is you'll print out the PDF and you'll upload it into our website. So it's pretty simple. If you're not planning on applying to US programs, you can fill out our application. You submit your transcripts, your letters of recommendation, your MCAT. Now, I will say the caveat with the MCAT is we actually have waived it for this last year. We are also waiving the MCAT for this upcoming January. We ask if you have gotten a testing spot and you have a score that you submit it, but students are still having issues with scheduling their MCAT. So we decided to waive it for this upcoming January. After that, I'm not sure if we're going to be requiring it moving forward. But that is, we'll see what happens with that. Once we get your documents in, you'll be reviewed for an interview, which will take place with, via Zoom with one of our graduate physicians that's on our interview panel. And once we get that interview summary back, our admissions committee will make a decision in 2 to 3 weeks. So there's a very quick turnaround time. If you are admitted, submit your offer, accept the offer, submit your deposit, which will secure your spot. We'll travel to Grenada or the United Kingdom, whichever one you decide to do. We will pick you up from the airport and bring you to your dorm. We're also having an online option as well for students that either do not feel comfortable traveling to Grenada or have some type of reasons why they can't. And then you'll start studying medicine. Now, it's worth noting there's a couple differences between the 3 start dates. So January and April, you can kind of combine the 2 for the benefits. And what those are, you're going to have extra time to study for your step 1 and step 2 exams. There's going to be less amount of students in January and April. You're looking at about 300 to 400 for January, about 200 for April, and about 900 or so, or 1,000 for August. Now, keep in mind your class size 75% of the time, or 8 students to 1 faculty member, and then 25% of the time they will be in larger lectures. So that is and also as far as the benefits for January and April, we have something that's called a Why Wait program. And so what that is, for those of you that are going to be applying to US programs, if you start with SGU in January or April, and for example, a US program comes back to you middle of the year, and you're already enrolled in SGU and you're in medical school. And they say, congratulations, you're admitted to our upcoming fall semester. You then have a decision to make. You can obviously stay with SGU. We would love to have you for another term. Or you can leave SGU and attend the US program, and we actually will refund you the entire cost of your tuition. And the reason why we're doing this is because the students that come to our program that are in that 3.3, 3.4 range, 500 to 505, let's say, a lot of the time will end up getting put on a wait list. And the problem with that is some students will be on a wait list for 2, 3, even 4 years trying to get into a US program. We personally feel being on a wait list for 3 to 4 years is way too long. So we think it's a win-win situation for students. We allow you to get started with medical school early and also really see one cycle of the US program to see if you are admitted to their program. So that would only be for January or February. I'm sorry, January or April. That would not count for August. And then also for those of you that are international students, obviously international students have it tough with trying to get into a US program. Typically, I think it's less than 1% of international students end up getting admitted to a US program. So they do need to look at other options, and we are a fantastic option for international students. So if you're an international student looking for options, feel free to contact John or Beck. They are our international team, and they will be more than happy to work with you on that. With that said, I will mention one other thing as well. So financial aid. So we are approved for US federal loans. It will cover up to the entire cost of your medical education. Being one of the largest medical schools in the world, we also have a lot of resources for students. About 75% of the time, our students get some type of scholarship that will help offset the cost of medical education. We have academic scholarships that go up to $94,500. We have humanitarian scholarships up to $72,000. We have a financial award and a Dean's Award that has no cap on there. We give grants for students that have worked in healthcare, and also probably our most significant scholarship is our Equity in Medicine Scholarship, that are half and full scholarships to our medical school. And that is for students from underrepresented areas. So if you come from an area that might be rural or there's not a lot of hospitals in your area, and you want to give back and work in these hospitals that are underrepresented, we will look for students and give out those significant awards. So the great thing is you submit your application, you send your resume, and that's really how we pick our scholarship winners. So yes, I want to leave it up, enough time for you all to ask me any questions that you have. So feel free to unmute your microphone or put one in the chat, or any questions that you guys have.
And yeah, if y'all want to just type it, or I can read it out loud to him. So if you don't want to unmute, that'll be fine as well.
And you guys will also get my contact information as well when this presentation is over. So feel free to contact me too if you want to talk more about our program. I did such a great job that no one has any questions. This is like a first for me.
I actually have one.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Zoe. Okay, so I had a question about the USMLE, and I know that in the recent years, Step 2 had a clinical knowledge portion and a clinical skills portion, and that since I think maybe COVID, the clinical skills portion was discontinued. So I went to an internship over the summer, and they talked about that. I did it with Oshner, and so they told us a lot about UQ and how they're integrating the clinical skills portion into their curriculum. So I don't know if you know this about y'all's curriculum, but I was just wondering how were y'all integrating the clinical skills more into your curriculum?
It's a great question, Zoe. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of changes with the USMLE. For those of you that didn't know that, so yeah, they discontinued a Step 2 clinical skills. they have moved step one from a scored exam to a pass fail. So, opinions are all over the place, whether, why the reason why they did that. I understand their intent for it. They're putting a lot more really focus on the step two. But, now if students just barely pass the step one, now, before they could, pass the step two and get a higher score to rectify their step one exam. Now it's a pass fail, and all the emphasis is now put on the step two clinical knowledge exam. But for your question, so we've always integrated it. So early in year two, students will work with the live patients in the Grenada Hospital. Also, we hire actors that portray patients. So you are going to work on your bedside manner, asking the right questions, note taking after each patient encounter. One thing that scared me when I first visited our campus, we have a building that looks like a hospital. So I went in there. They didn't really tell me we were going, and I walked in the room and I got yelled at by a robot. And so what this is a simulation center where we have robots. These robots, one of them delivers a baby. One robot they have programmed to yell at you when you walk in the room because he's having a heart attack. And so they can program these robots to have heart murmurs, can talk, can blink, can move. I mean, it's amazing. And so, all of these things that we do, you're going to start to see some of this stuff later in the first year, but definitely, we immerse you into this in your second year. So you are going to be able to make that smooth transition from second year basic sciences to your clinical rotations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question.
And then Job in the chat asks, I would imagine that you already mentioned it already. What does SGU have? Does SGU have a dental school?
We do not have a dental school. So we have a veterinary school, a medical school, undergraduate, public health. We do have a PhD program. It's a standalone, so it's not a dual degree. And we have a MD, MBA program. I get asked that a lot. Do you have a PA program or a dentist program? We do not, unfortunately. You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you know what the match rates are for residency programs?
So we typically have anywhere from a 92 to a 90, on a really good year, 95% match rate. So, our students do quite well. We have about a 10% attrition rate. So, someone asked, what are the enrollment size of SGUs in the chat? So we typically take in, again, around 1,500 students a year. It could be a little bit lower, it could be a little bit higher. We have the capacity probably to go up to 2,000 students if we really wanted to. But we also have to be realistic about the quality of students that we're bringing in. And so, it's important with having that many students to really have adequate support that's going to help students match at a high rate. And so what happens in a lot of the time, your medical programs, no matter where you go, is going to have something like this. In your third year, towards the end of your third year, you're going to have some type of department. Ours is kind of like a career services department, and it's overseen by Dr. John Madden and his group. And they're going to ask you, what types of programs do you want to apply? What residency are you looking for? And some students will, want to shoot high, go for orthopedic surgery, dermatology, plastic surgery, urology, some of these really high competitive residencies. And, they're going to have an honest conversation with you and say, well, based on your board scores, what you've done here, you may not be competitive for what you're trying to do. You can certainly apply, but let's have a plan B to get you in, somewhere else. And a lot of the times, students sometimes don't understand that there are a lot of subspecialties. Like, for example, some people that want to do anesthesia, you have to go into your first year of internal medicine before you can get into anesthesia. So there's a lot to it that you're going to really want to talk with your department and that team that's going to be advising you. And that's the goal, is to give you the information and the best possible chance to not only match into your specialty, but into the program that you're looking to match into. So certainly use that department. And we do it very well.
Thank you.
Welcome. You guys have a lot of great questions.
Any other questions,
guys-
guys?
I can't believe nobody asked about the food in Grenada. Oh, I will say this, one other thing too, and I just brought up my own question. So I get questioned about safety a lot too, a lot, but from parents, from what they have sons and daughters, but a lot of time parents that have daughters. And so Grenada is a very safe place. They rely on tourism, so it needs to be safe. There is no guns in Grenada. And so the campus is fenced in. You need to have there's a security guard as well. So you need to have an ID just to get into campus. There's always a security on the bus, not because there's any issues, but just so there's not. And so actually, if you're on the bus late at night, they'll drop you off and they'll wait for you to get into your dorm before they leave. And so it is a very safe place for students to learn. And also, so what is the average yearly tuition? So glad you asked that question. So I'm going to talk about this, and this is kind of for every student looking to go to medical school. Medical school is obviously expensive, both in time and money. And so our average tuition, is around $280,000 for 4 years. Now with room and board, you're looking at about an in-debt cost of about $325,000 for 4 years. So we are about the cost of an out-of-state medical program. Keep in mind this though, and a lot of students don't know this. For any medical school you go to, it could be in the United States, could be at the Caribbean, doesn't really matter. Once you graduate and obtain a residency, as long as it's in a non-for-profit hospital, and you work for that hospital for 10 years, at the end of that 10th year, your loans are forgiven. So typically students will graduate from medical school, they'll work in a residency for 3 years, they'll maybe do a fellowship for 2 years. So that's 5 years. You're done. You spend 5 more years in a hospital setting, and whatever you have left on your loans, which is still going to be pretty significant, will be forgiven. So always keep that in mind when you are looking at medical school, no matter which one you look at, and you see the average in-debt cost of a student. Also, you also want to look up, obviously, the average salary as a physician. You guys will be just fine.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you said international students, so I'm not a citizen of the United States, but I'm a legal resident. Would I be considered an international student?
If you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, you would not be international. So if you are not a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, you'd be considered international.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question.
Yeah.
If you were gonna do a work study job, is there any offer for us that would be like during college? There would be any since it's a different place, would there be any easier jobs for us to find in campus?
So we actually we tell you guys not to work, to be honest with you. You're going to be so busy with medical school, it's going to be difficult for you to have a job with that. So some students, to make money, will do tutoring. So we have a Department of Education services where if you do really well, say you got an A or a high B in biochem or anatomy or whatever the case is, you can then be actually a tutor in your second year for the first year students or the second year students. And usually, because Grenada is such a small country, SGU is actually the second largest employer other than the government. And so all of the jobs pretty much go to the citizens of Grenada. They really depend on our campus for work. And so, we don't really hire students for that. And to be honest with you, like it's going to be difficult for you to balance all of your studies and working at the same time. A good question.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, guys? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Brad, for coming and talk to us tonight. We really appreciate it, and we hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too. Thank you all. I enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, have a good night and a good weekend. And hopefully we'll talk to somebody soon. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so now let me share my screen. So just some general announcements. Like always, to be an active member for this semester, you need to have 12 volunteer hours, and you can input those on our website. Our dues are actually required today. So if you have not done that, please Venmo ULL-PPS with either the 15 for this semester or the 25 for both semesters. And we will be coming out with a list of our people that we have accounted for that very soon. So probably by next week, we can send that out. And so if you aren't on that list, please let us know and we will try to do our best. If you haven't paid your dues and you can't pay via Venmo, then just get them into Dr. Felgenhauer's box as soon as possible. And that's in BO in the front office. And now I'll turn it over to our volunteer coordinator, Jordan, to talk to us about some opportunities.
Hey y'all, bear with me. I have several slides and also I've been having a coughing attack this whole meeting. So if I have to take a sip of water, I'm sorry. And as always, it's a lot of information, but I send out an email after every meeting detailing all of it again. The PowerPoint will go out. So don't freak out whenever you're like, I forgot half what she said. It's okay. So first opportunity is the Second Harvest Food Bank. I mentioned it last meeting. It is going to be this upcoming Friday from 1 to 3, and we will be setting up a date in November to follow. We only have 5 spots left, but the director of this, Colby, emailed me, and on the sign up at the top, I put a link. If you put your name down to attend this opportunity, you need to go to that link, create a volunteer member account with Second Harvest, and then register for our specific sign up. Because right now he said, none of y'all signed up and 10 of y'all have y'all names on the list. So in order to actually go, you need to fully register with them. So I will send an email again next week at the beginning of the week, reminding y'all specifically who signed up on the sheet to go make an account, but I'm just letting y'all know right now. Hospice of Acadiana, it's already been going on this week, but it's also continuing until next Wednesday. It's letter stuffing. They're super sweet, super kind. It's the people from the Calcutta House. They said they'd have snacks for y'all if y'all wanted to go. Like, what a better volunteer opportunity. And it's just helping them send out letters to, I think, donors and things like that. So if you are interested, we had plenty of spots left. Those are the days left and the times. Email me specifically at ULL-PPS volunteerco at gmail.com. So that way I can let them know that you're coming because they kind of need a head count. But if you're interested, I will gladly let them know. And then next is the Buddy Walk. So we will be teaming up with ULL Life Program and the Beacon Club. And it's October 22nd at 1 p.m. It's virtual this year. So because of that, we get to do it on UL's campus. So you will all meet at Randolph Hall and then just do a mile walk. And again, super great way to not only be involved with PPS, but in the UL community. And with a special needs program like this, that would look really fantastic. So I'm going to make a sign up for that and send an email. Habitat for Humanity reached out and we have 2 opportunities with them. So the first is a trunk or treat, and that will be October 30th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Reed Store downtown. It's on Johnston Street. I will need 10 to 15 people and one person to decorate your vehicle. So like dollar store, cute little spiderweb decorations, so easy. And you don't have to worry about candy because that will be provided for y'all. And you basically just sit around there and hand out candy to children. Super fun. It's like trick-or-treating, but out of a car and exciting. And the second opportunity, I'm just kind of giving y'all a heads up about it, is their Chemical Waste Day on November 20th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That one, I can have 15 to 20 people sign up, and it will be at the paint recycling tent. So you'll be helping like mix paint, taking old paint cans, all kinds of stuff. Sounds kind of fun, not gonna lie. And that one, just letting y'all have a heads up, but whenever I do send out signups, I won't send one out for the Chemical Waste Day yet because there is no sign up on their website either. But for the trunk or treat, it'll work the same way as I just told y'all about Second Harvest. So it'll be a spreadsheet where I'll have 10 to 15 slots, sign up, and at the top, I'll have a link, and make sure to click on that link, create a service account through Habitat for Humanity. That way you're registered in their system. Then underneath that, we have the Autism Awareness Trunk or Treat. So same concept as the Habitat for Humanity Trunk or Treat, except for this one, you won't be doing like an actual car handing out candy. They already have enough cars. You'll just be helping kind of run the event overall. So that will be October 23rd from 3 to 6 p.m. And with this, Caroline has a little bit more information about this. Caroline Muir. So if you're interested, I will be creating a sign up. I don't have unlimited spots for that. And Caroline will kind of get back to y'all with more information on that. But again, all these signups, email. Lastly is Preview Day. So I previously mentioned Science Day, but that has been canceled for this semester. So instead, we're actually having preview days, which have always taken place, where prospective students come in, tour the facilities we have, and we're needing students in the biology department specifically. So like in the anatomy labs with the brains and specimens, they walk in and they're really interested in having PPS students present because we're students that are on campus. We obviously have goal-oriented aspects. We're involved, so we're able to give more of a well-rounded perspective of UL life. So if you are interested, there's several dates that I just listed below right there, and you email Dr. Sophie Pluvier. That is her email. Okay, and then these are just community opportunities that I kind of come across. On the side, I put it in really big and bold. Please feel free to contact me if you want to share an event outside in the community that you are interested in, that you're taking part in, so I can share with other members of the society at our different meetings. But again, these are just some that I came across on social media or through other members of the club. So going back to that all-inclusive art show, and again, Caroline, you can email her, and we have decided that it'll be a 3-point maximum, kind of like give back nights for donating art, and she will meet up with you. It needs to be donated before the night of the event so she can collect it. But again, email her, y'all will find a place and time to meet up, and she'll collect it from you. And these last two, found out about them. They're very soon, but if you feel compelled, please do so. There is a NAMI walk at Turlings Catholic High School this weekend at 9:30. It's a 5K to support mental health. So I just think that, again, is a great opportunity to be involved in the Lafayette community and also with a kind of medically related organization. And then lastly, the Lafayette Community Fridge, they have several around town that just have meals for people who need. And they're doing this thing called Sweets and Stories right now, where you donate used books. It can be children's or adult books, doesn't really matter. And it's going on at Taco Sisters, is the drop-off location, until tomorrow. So if you just like have books lying around, here's this great opportunity that just popped up for free. So great. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I am so ecstatic for this. You don't understand. I have come up with this idea since summer. Could not wait to mention it to you guys. But we have decided, instead of just doing a spring fundraiser, PPS is now going to have a fall and a spring fundraiser to kind of spice it up and get things going all year round. And our spring fundraiser is going to be called Fall Fling, and it's a cornhole tournament, which is just so fun, so exciting. As you can tell, I'm just so excited about this. It will be Saturday, November 6th. Every member is required to register a team, which makes up 2 people. So you and a friend, team, done. This is the flyer. Again, this is the first time I'm mentioning it to y'all. We have a month, so we will be meeting more and getting more of the ball rolling with these things. But just to let y'all know, as members, since this is a club organization, you will be required to find a team, form a team, and just kind of help out with this whole planning situation. And then other volunteer opportunities during that day or just with the event is we're going to need cornhole boards because I personally don't own 20 cornhole boards. We will need help buying concession snacks because we will be providing just like a little fun concession stand, and then working the event, whether that be working that concession stand, working the check-in table. I put reffing. I don't really know if you ref a cornhole game, but we'll figure that out. But again, so excited. Please get pumped. It's going to be so much fun. Tell all your friends. Make 3 teams if you want. That would be so great. And we're going to have so many great prizes for our first, second, and third place. So if you also have great prizes that you'd want to donate, please contact me. And if you just feel really compelled to get involved in this, contact me. I would love for you to help out.
I have a question. So does my teammate has to be a UL student, or they can be like anybody?
No, it can be anybody. And
Okay.
even if like you have your dad and your dad's best friend love cornhole, let them play. You know? It's anyone.
Yes, we're so excited about this. And all the proceeds that we're raising for this is going directly to the American Heart Association. So again, it's a medically centered organization, and it's also just a really fantastic cause. So we do really want to push that everyone does register at least 1 team because it is a requirement to be an active member for this semester. But yeah, just send it out on all of your groups, let everyone know, because who doesn't love cornhole? I mean, some people might, but I love cornhole and I'm so excited for this. But yeah, so yeah, please reach out to Jordan if you have any ideas or if you can help in any way. Are you good, Jordan? Okay, awesome. All right, and then Jada, if you can talk about our Get Back Nights coming up.
Okay, so on October 6th, oh wait, that happened.
That's today.
That's tonight. Okay, October 6th, Ground Patty Give Back Nights, the Johnston Street location. And then also, okay, so in between this one tonight and, sorry, my dog is screaming at me. Okay, this one tonight, there could be one on October 20th at KOK. So y'all just keep a lookout on social media and in your class group me's for that. There's for sure one on November 3rd at Grub Burger Bar again. And I want to tell everyone thank you so much for the first Give Back night we had at Grub Burger Bar, because we were told that it was the best they ever had with PPS and they raised the most money they ever raised. So that's really awesome. Also, I wanted to tell y'all that in order to actually get your community service points, you have to actually email it to me, which is ullppsvolunteer@gmail.com, or Jordan, ullppsvolunteerco@gmail.com. Do not go and like put it in as volunteer hours on the website, because it won't be counted. And so just make sure you're emailing pictures of your receipts to us. That's how you're going to get your hours. And you can, okay, so $10 is 1 service point. You can only get 3 service points. So you can, if you spend $30, that's 3, and that's all that you can get. You spend $50, you still get 3. So just to make sure that y'all are aware of that. And yep, that's it. I'm sorry, my dog is being crazy, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, so here is our future meeting date. So our next one is October 20th. And we're going to have a speaker come from LSU Shreveport Health to talk to us about their PA program. So that should be a very good one. So please mark your calendars if you haven't done so already. And speaking of calendars, you can go to our website and you can add it to your Google Calendar or to your Apple Calendar, whatever, if you just click on those buttons. And so your meeting dates will all that automatically be transported to your calendar that you have. So it's really easy and you'll never forget. And also, just a reminder, on our calendar, we have the times and the Zoom link. So if you ever get lost or you can't find an email or whatever, you can always look there. And then just another reminder to join a class GroupMe if you're not already in one, because we do update regularly in there, and also to follow our social media because we just post a lot of really cool things. We post like MCAT questions and DAC questions on our stories, so you can get a little practice in while you're scrolling through social media. And then I will turn it over to Doc real quick to talk about scholarships and committee packets.
Yeah, as you know, the committee is doing letters right now where we've done a lot already. We're trying to meet about once a week. Please put your packets with everything, including remember to put a picture of yourself in there so that that'll help us out when we're evaluating you. So that is, of course, in the biology main office. And so don't send it to me via emails. I get a zillion of them. And so please put it in a packet with everything that is on the website that's required, and we will get you taken care of. The second thing I've talked about before, but just to remind you, we do have a group of scholarships which are on the website. And again, your application, and you can put down all of the ones that you want to apply for on one sheet, preferably typed. And we are also asking now that, or I'm asking now, that you put a picture of yourself in there as well. And that can just be a small pic, just so I can see. And as I've said in previous meetings, last week of class or the last week of finals, because I will be doing them over the break, and the scholarships will be released at the end of January. So as of right now, I really want to push that we need people for preview day. Dr. Plivier was very excited that we would be involved, and I was talking to Matthew in the group today, and we're going to have also our board, and I don't mean the members of the board, but our what do we call it?
Our information board, basically.
Yeah. Which has been redone and looks great. And so all these high school kids will be able to talk to you. And as you know, there's so many that are interested in healthcare. So other than that, also enjoy the next couple of days and the weekend for a quick break before we start again on Monday. And I think that's all I have, Matthew. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc. And now, if everyone will scan this QR code, and Caroline will also put the link in the chat if that is easier for you guys. 1 minute for the link. But yeah, just make sure you fill this out so that we have you attending, because again, attendance is a requirement. So, and you can only miss 1 meeting per semester. So I'll just give y'all a couple minutes to do that. And while y'all are doing that, if y'all have any questions, please feel free to share it in the chat or unmute yourselves about anything that we've covered. Oh, Caroline, you can.
I have an announcement. So I know last meeting, we had a lot of people get kicked out of the meeting, or had to leave the meeting because of the fire drill that happened in the dorms. So if you got kicked out, didn't get to like mark your attendance or anything, and you want to, just shoot me an email, please.
And her email is ullppssecretary@gmail.com.
Yeah,
So it's
I can
super
send it in the chat again.
Okay, let me go to the next slide. Also, we are still selling masks. They're $7. And I put this wonderful picture. We got to go to the Calcutta House and present our check for $10,000. And we were all wearing our PPS mask, and they just look so fantastic. And they're super comfy, super breathable. So if you have not gotten one, you should. And you can scan this QR code if you want to get one. We'll be sending out the link in our GroupMe's as well if you want to sign up to get one, and we will set that up for you guys. And so what you need to do if you want to get one is click on this link, scan the QR code, put your name and information and stuff, and then also Venmo. But you can do the link first, and so we can get more info out, make it easier for you guys. And so, yes, if there's no more questions, then y'all are free to go. And I hope everyone has a great, oh, Caroline has something, don't go yet.
Somebody asked me just now if they paid for their mask, how do they go about getting them?
That is an excellent question. So you need to, let's see, I'll go back. So you need to fill out this QR code, the link, the form that it goes to. You need to fill that out, and then I will be emailing everyone who does that to set up, and we'll have like a certain days that you can come from like this time to this time. You can get a mask. So, and yes, if there's no more questions, I hope you all have a great fall break.
Hey, I can't use the QR code. Can you send a link or something?
The QR code is to an interest form about filling out, about getting a mask. It's not actually to our Venmo, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to get my mask. I've already paid for one.
Okay.
Okay, you can email me, ullppspresident@gmail.com.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good night. Safe travels if you're
guys.
traveling.
Take care, everyone. Thank you, Matthew, and of course, the board. I'll be talking to you, Matt.
Okay. Okay, I think everyone else left. So yes, if you're able to get a donation for the prizes for the cornhole tournament, please let me know what you've gotten, and so I can relay that information to Jordan and to Brooklyn so that we can get our prizes set up and everything like that.
I am going to talk to some business owners tomorrow. I was waiting until I went home to talk to them in person, but we'll get back to you on that.
No worries. And again, we do have a month, but please just try to do that as soon as possible so that we can also advertise what we're giving away as prizes. So does anyone have anything else that they need to discuss for tonight? No? Well, thank you guys so much again. Really appreciate everything that y'all do for the board and for PPS. Y'all are the best. And hope y'all have a great fall break and get some rest.
You too. Bye.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.
Doc,
Bye.
don't leave. I have something exciting to tell you.
Okay.
Oh, just Doc.
Oh.
All
You
right.
can stay
Oh,
if you want and hear the
sorry.
exciting news. It's totally fine if you want. Doc, I got
Well,
an
I'm gonna let
interview to
Doc
New
hear it.
Orleans and Baylor Medical today.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. And you're all my pestering of you to send in my Texas stuff worked.
Yeah, I remember the pestering. But
I
that's
just
what
want to thank you again for everything you do for us. It
Yeah,
really,
well, congratulations.
appreciate
I'm very proud of you. That's fantastic.
thank you so much.
I thought that you would.
Thank you.
So it'd be a tough choice, but of course Baylor would be very